Hello, everyone, and welcome to Around South Jersey. I've got one of my favorite people with me tonight, and I say that not because he's here, but he truly is. Jerry Covella is one of the nicest gentlemen you'll ever meet. Jerry, nice to see you.
I was just going to say the same thing about you.
Oh, well, thank you. I
Long-time
appreciate
friends, always good to see you, my
It's
friend.
great to see you. Let's talk. First, I knew Jerry because he was the news editor of the Daily Journal back in the 80s and 90s when we were kids, right?
Absolutely.
And did a fantastic job there. Talk about some of the people you worked with at the Daily Journal. Was Jimmy Quaranta there?
Jim Quaranta was there, and boy, there are a lot of people there. I could list probably 20 in production, the newsroom.
Right.
Deb Marco, I
yeah,
worked
what a great
with,
lady.
and Joe Smith was there in the 80s and 90s.
That's right.
Corinne Borton was the features editor. There were a series of executive editors during my time there. John Sobrano was one of the editors
That's right.
there.
I forgot about that, yeah.
So, it was an interesting time.
It was. Well, it's interesting. Speaking of that, Jerry and I were talking about before we went on the air. It's tough in the newspaper business, the radio business, the TV business because of the internet. I mean, I was doing big bucks when we used to do the car shows on the weekends. Now you grab the phone, Siri, I'm looking for a 2015 Ford F-150, and they all pop up instead of having to watch an hour show. But you know, Jerry, the people that I did the shows for, they told me every weekend that they did a show, they sold me 20 and 25 cars, from the TV show.
Yeah.
But again, then there was 13 channels. Now there's 313 channels, and times have really changed. So and Jerry knows that too. So when did you make the decision to leave the Daily Journal and come on board with the
Sure.
Millville Chamber?
1995, I left the Daily Journal,
Okay.
November, and I guess I could say that's when my entrepreneurial spirit took over.
Right.
So launched a few businesses. We were lucky, we were successful, so I guess I can claim to be an entrepreneur along the way. Did consulting, got into business coaching, joined the chamber as their executive director and organizational coach 8 years ago. Wow.
Okay. Time flies, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, so it's been a great experience. People say, hey, you're a violent guy.
Yeah.
And I always correct him. I say, my grandfather lived in Millville.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
What was his name?
Nicola Covella.
Okay.
He was an
Italian
immigrant.
man.
And my dad was actually an immigrant. He came over when he was 16, went to Millville High School.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
That is
So I claim some Millville ties.
Well, we love you in Millville, too, because you do a great job for the Millville Chamber. In fact, what a wonderful event you and your staff and all the people of the Chamber put on recently, the Pride Millville Awards, and Craig Atkinson was the man this year. Does a wonderful, well, in fact, there you see it right there. We're just talking about that.
Yeah, it's a great
Jerry's on your far left. Well, right it would be, I guess, but left as you look at the picture.
Yeah.
And, speaking of that, Rob Connor, what a great guy.
Yeah.
And, boy, people, I want to tell you something. If it wasn't for Bob Connor and Rob Connor and Julian Connor, half the things I do wouldn't be on TV. They do it because they care about the community, and they give back to the community. So when you're looking for insurance, you might want to look to them because they are always there. I'll call Bob. Could you do this? Yep. Because it's for the community, and I'm sure he helps with the chamber, donates, and does things as well. They're the people that we really need to support and hopefully get more of those involved, in whatever we're doing, whether it's my television advertising, the Millville Chamber, and Jerry, your business. So your entrepreneurship now is, your business is called Clarity Partners, is that right?
It is. Yeah, we were formerly Focal Point Coaching. 9 years in the coaching business. Focal Point for 8 of those years. In February of this year, we changed the brand to Clarity Partners.
I see.
And
are there other companies like this? You're part of an organization, or?
Well, what we did, 2025 is really our year for small business.
Uh-huh.
So part of our structure, a little history here. When I began coaching, I wanted to be a coach because, hey, we're in Cumberland County, and a lot of small businesses are struggling, and I figured, well, maybe we could come in and help a little, and offer some expertise. Ironically, most of my clients through the years have been larger corporations,
I see.
multi-departmental. So but my ties are still to the business community. Yeah, and it is interesting that it's evolved that way. But Clarity Partners, the name itself demonstrates what we're about. I was a one-man show, working with corporate clients, enjoying myself, loving every day. But still, we were trying to find a better way to appeal to the small business community. What we've done is strategically looked out and brought on partners that potentially could fill the gap, help us. We're also using technology within our platform. So let's say a small business owner says, I'm a one-person operation. I don't have time to go to any workshops or anything like that. And what we wanted to do was give them an option. So what we came up through a partner of ours was a do-it-yourself program, so they can go online. They then could connect to myself or another coach if they needed some coaching support along the way, but they call the shots.
I see.
So it's affordable for them. It's still the strong curriculum that we bring to all our clients. At the end of the day, it's how can we be ultra successful in what we do. And data shows, especially with the small business community, not many survive.
Yeah.
Right? So we want to bring a message that this is an opportunity to all the small businesses to really take a step back, get some clarity in your own mind where you want to be. Once you have that goal in mind, it's easy to take the steps to do it. But in small businesses, sometimes we kind of wander around in a routine, and we're not quite sure to get out of our own way. So,
well, it's interesting. I've become very good friends with a young lady. Vicki Adams is her name, and she's in Columbus, South Carolina, but she's going to relocate to Millville. So I said to her, Vicki, when you come up, I'll put you, together with you, and you can give her some ideas and things like that. Again, she's doing well, but it's tough in a small business where you have limited resources and getting the advertising and doing all the things you would need to do. So I'm sure Vicki will be one of your clients, and in this day and age, God bless her to be able to be successful in business.
Yeah.
And she heard how great the Millville Chamber of Commerce executive director was. So she called me. She said, I'm moving to Millville. I said, good. I'm glad you're moving to Millville.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it is. So getting back to, you were recognized in 2019 and 2024 as a finalist for the Delaware Valley Consultant of the Year Award, presented by the Tri-State HR chapters in New Jersey, Delaware, and Pennsylvania. Wow.
Yeah, that was a humbling experience.
That's super. Yeah.
I'm just Jerry Covella having fun coaching people, and then to get the nomination and get to be a finalist and get up on stage was unique.
Also, are all of your clients local, or do you have some from outside the area?
No, I actually have clients across the country.
Oh, wow.
Some major corporations that...
Geez, I have to tell Vicki, you don't have to relocate. Jerry can take care of you while you're in South Carolina. No, you do need to relocate.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Tell me a little bit about group coachings, some of the positive results you see from that.
Yeah. A lot of people say, what's the coaching model look like? The traditional model is really one-to-one coaching. So if you're thinking about an athletic coach, a specialty coach that comes in, it could be one-to-one. What we've been successful putting group coaching together. So, from an affordability standpoint, everyone's sharing the cost. We're able to deliver good content, and it does work for us. It works for the people that attend. We're getting some really good results with the group coaching, and we're extending that this year for small businesses to a series of mastermind programs.
Oh, wow. So, I watched that TV show.
The irony is in corporate America, there aren't many executives that are not part of a mastermind program. So, all the top executives get together and they share their challenges, and as a group, they talk out strategies that will benefit everybody. It's a strong model. Unfortunately, the small business world hasn't really grasped onto that. So we'd like to introduce it here in Cumberland County and kind of establish a new level of excellence where, we know we all have challenges.
Yes, right.
We can either hold those to ourselves and not move ahead, or we can make a decision, hey, I want to get involved, meet other people, see what their challenges are like. And through that constant brainstorming, in the mastermind program, it is amazing. Everyone feels the same pain when you come in.
Yeah.
And it's okay. How do we resolve that and eliminate the pain points that we are seeing? You have a whole group of support, and my role is just to facilitate the conversation based upon what the needs of the business owners are. So,
well, we're talking with Jerry Covella, who's got a lot of hats he wears, and we'll be back to talk about the book that's in front of me here that Jerry wrote. Now, I'm not surprised he wrote a book because he was a great writer with a daily journal. I can't write. Jerry, if I couldn't talk, I don't know what I would do for a living. We'll be back with more with Jerry Covella right after these messages.
Many people treat their health like a game. With Complete Care Health Network, it's easy to start your healthcare journey. Just select from our specialties and schedule online, by phone, or on our app. Our entire team communicates with one another, so everyone works together on your total health. Plus, we make it even easier with all of these additional benefits. Level up your health with us. Complete Care Health Network. No games, just great health care for everyone.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. With more than 41 years of service to our valued customers, Advanced Treads in Norman, New Jersey is South Jersey's full-service distributor of General Tires. We feature a complete line of passenger vehicle tires, light truck, farm, and commercial tires. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tires, anywhere is possible. Advanced Treads, 1325 West Landis Avenue in Norman, New Jersey. Call them today at 856-696-5004. When you need tires, there is only one name you can trust: Advanced Treads of Norman, New Jersey.
Business demands location. Millville, New Jersey's got it. Business demands infrastructure. Millville's got it. Business demands a ready workforce. Millville's got it. Business demands affordable real estate. Millville's got it. Business demands leadership that gets it. Millville gets it.
Whether you're building, expanding, or relocating your operation, Millville means business.
Visit millvillenj.gov.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
Welcome back to Around South Jersey. Jim Quinn along with Jerry Covella. Jerry is the executive director of the Millville Chamber of Commerce, but he's also an author. He's also involved with the businesses like we talked about, taking care of coaching and the new business. Jerry, it's what was Focal Point. It's now Clarity Partners, right?
Clarity Partners.
Okay. And, Jerry, I've been in business as a small businessman for 45 years. And as I mentioned to you, it was when I first started, and I've been running the local cable channel basically for all that time. There's a little bit of time that Ken Piastizzi, we shared it, and then he took it over for a little bit, and I got it back. But when I look at how things have changed, as I mentioned, we were doing well. I did that auction time show where I'd sell merchandise on TV. In 1 year, I grossed in the 4 locations $1 million. This was 1980. But now, you'd be lucky if you got $8. It's just, again, as I said, for television side, there's 300 channels, then there were 12 channels. And everything's online, everything's on the computer. So I guess when you get together with your people to give them instruction, I guess working online to get their message out is one of the ways you take a look at.
Yeah, I mean, there are multiple ways. I guess to kind of capsulize the small business community, I think the biggest challenges that we face as small business owners is first, I mean, really a focus on what we do well. And I always talk to my clients about what we call position of market dominance. So if we can't describe who we are and how we separate ourselves from the competition,
Right.
we are tossing ourselves into a big pool, which now you have a heavy load. Like, how do you deliver a message that separates yourself
Right.
from the rest of your competition? It's tough to do that. So position of market dominance is important. And for me, from a coaching standpoint, I stress that enormously when I am talking to people. So, if I ask the question of a business person, tell me what makes you unique,
Yeah.
and they're not able to answer that. A side story I always chuckle about, I was talking to a group of business owners a couple of years ago, and the first question I asked the group, there were about 30 in the group, I said, we're going to go around the room, tell me about your business, and tell me what separates you from your competition. So they all sat there and they were thinking, and the gentleman, he raised his hand, he said, you can't ask that question. You should have sent us something prior to that so we could research it and let you know what it was. And the irony of that response, right? It should flow out of your mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
So everyone knows.
Yep.
But that kind of capsulizes for a lot of small businesses. You can be in an industry, but what makes you unique in an industry? And, the second part is, how do we change our routine? And for a lot of small business people, or any business, you're in a routine, you readily admit that you're struggling, but your comfort zone is knowing that model. And to get people out of their routine, I mean, you can imagine, you see it around us every day. Someone wants to get healthy and they make a superficial commitment to, I'm going to get healthy. It lasts for a day or two. And then they're back eating bonbons and at night watching TV. So from that standpoint, those two elements, if you can't define what separates you from yourself, and I call it courage, the courage to look in the mirror and say, I can do better. If we can turn that corner with the people we work with and they say, I see an opening here, I know I can do better, I just need some structure to go with it, they are the ideal client for me. But I can tell you, a lot of people are not willing, they want a quick fix. Can you put a Band-Aid on this issue or that issue? And I frankly, I tell them, I'm not the Band-Aid guy.
No.
Right?
No.
I may be a surgeon, I guess.
Sutures, maybe.
right. But no Band-Aids. No. So those two elements are really important. So, for the viewers, if you're a small business, think about what makes you special. And make sure your messaging focuses specifically on that area. If I may, I'll tell you a quick story. Working with a plumber.
Thank God. James Harden, I love him. He's my plumber. Thank you for coming, James, when I call. That's hard to find.
Out of the area, though.
Okay.
So not a local plumber, but he sat down, he was looking at coaching. And basically he said, I've been doing this for 30 years. I'm not loving it anymore. I'm not paying the bills. I'm thinking about an exit strategy. And I was like, okay. So I said, you really want to get out of the business? He goes, I just don't want to do what I'm doing now. So I said, tell me what your goal is. And I still chuckle, and I've told this story 100 times, and he'll probably see this, and he'll chuckle too. He said, my goal is to never put my hands in a dirty sewer pipe again.
Understandable.
Right.
Yes.
So I said, I think we could do that. So long story short, I said, what do you really like to do? He said, you know what? There's all this new technology in plumbing. It's exciting. And he started talking about these toilets that are $25,000 and faucets that are $1,000. He said, those things are really neat to work with. And I said, so you're telling me that's where you would like to be?
So you better head down to the Jersey Shore, the Barrier Islands.
Thank you, Jim. I'm taking you with me. Right?
Okay.
His response was, who's going to buy them around here? I said, people. Right? I mean, obviously, you have to know your market.
Yes.
So long story short, that was just over a year ago. But he's working with that type of client. He called me and he said, I'm working on a project. I'm putting 5 of these toilets.
$25,000 ones?
Yeah, in a bathroom at a mansion somewhere.
Yeah.
I said, good for you. And it was like, how much you going to net on that? He said, probably my net will be 30,000 or so on those. I said, okay, that's
right.
good. What's your average? What was your average before? He said,
Yeah.
well, $800, $900 on the job.
Oh.
Sounds like a decent model.
Yeah.
But he defined, it was an initial vision, and then he defined it enough to say, that's me. And that's where you turn the corner, because it's not just a message. You have to live that. You have to be confident about who you are. People will see that.
Yeah.
It's just not a slogan. I'm not the high-end plumber. It means nothing.
Right.
But if he says, I have a passion for this type of work, and if you're my client, ideal client, that's good. It took him some time to turn the corner because he still had his old clients calling him, and he was trying to fit the old model and the new model together,
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's
and
a
got
good point.
overwhelmed.
Yeah, sure.
So then he
yeah.
constantly narrowed it down. He's one of, I always tell this story because it's a simple move if you believe in it. If you don't believe in it, you're going to wander around and sample what you want to do, and that could be years
Yeah.
or an entire career and never really be happy about
Yeah.
what you do.
And boy, that's important. When I used to teach school, I would say to the students, do what you love. And at the time when I was teaching, parents were pushing for their kids to go to college because a lot of the parents hadn't gone to college, which is fine, if you want to be a teacher or anything you need a college education for. But there were kids in my class that loved to do auto mechanics and then for handy plumbing and that type of thing. And I think about it, Jerry. I mean, I thank God for Dale's Appliance Services. They came and fixed my dishwasher. And it was the one fellow was probably in his 50s, an experienced guy, and he brought with him a young fellow, maybe in his 20s. And the young fellow said to me, Mr. Quinn, I go to a school where they teach you how to repair appliances. I think he said it was in Elmer. So, I mean, we are so desperately in need of plumbers, electricians, of carpenters, of auto mechanics, and they pay well too. But again, you got to do what you love. I mean, I'm doing what I love, Jerry's done what he loves, and I have no ability, folks, so I couldn't talk. I don't know what I would do. I can't pound a nail, I can't fix anything at all. But I love what I do, and you love what you do, and that's what's important, because you do it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, yeah.
And you've had a few changes, things that you've done. I was lucky too, besides being in the radio and TV business. I actually, back in the early 80s, I started the cable television system for Morris River Commercial, Lawrencetown, Fairfield, and Deerfield Township. And we did very well with that. And then when we sold out, we bought 4 radio stations. But there's another thing, as you look at things, the local stations I was able to sell because I had relationships with Bob Connor and different friends and people like that would advertise. Down the shore, we lost our shirt. Sold those 2 off, one in Ocean City, one in Atlantic City. Got rid of them because I didn't have the relationship. And I don't know if people realize those years there were 22 radio stations in Cape May and Atlantic County. So it's like, when we were an all-sports station, which was new at that time. But, it's been interesting. And as you see businesses grow and develop and, whatever has to be. And being in a small business is not easy. You know that, Jerry. I mean, you need all the help you can get. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not easy, especially if the preparation going into it isn't complete. You're going to kind of wander around, feel your way through the process, and that's how you get in some bad routines that you can't get out of because your routine becomes your daily activity, and you can feel the pain. But it's I got to do this, I have to pay my bills, so you kind of lose control of your own business, which is what happens to a lot of the folks that I'm working with. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. We're talking with Jerry Covella, who does everything. This man is amazing, folks, and he's really a great guy. And Clarity Partners is the name of his company that he's working with. And when we get back, Jerry can tell you how to contact him. And then in the next part of the program, we're going to talk about Jerry's book that he wrote and many other things. So we'll do all that right after these messages.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
In Cumberland County, let's recycle right. We recycle cardboard, paper, aluminum, tin, and plastics number 1 and 2. Look for the 3-arrow triangle usually on the bottom of the plastic container. The number in the center determines the plastic number. Remember to recycle only number 1 and 2 plastics. Plastic bags, plastic film, hoses, and wires are not recyclable. They can damage sorting equipment and create hazardous working conditions. Don't trash our future. Do the right thing. Remember, reduce, reuse, and recycle.
C&H Disposal Service has provided customers with the best customer service possible since 1981. C&H Disposal Service provides trash removal, dumpster rentals, septic cleaning, repair and installation, septic system certifications, portable restroom rentals, and demolition. With great customer service and competitive pricing, C&H Disposal Service has you covered at the home and on the job. C&H Disposal Service. Stick with the best.
Many people treat their health like a game. With the Complete Care Health Network, it's easy to start your healthcare journey. Our mental health services focus on the emotions and behaviors that affect your overall well-being and features psychiatric, counseling, and addiction services, including our exclusive Fresh Start program, designed to help combat the opioid epidemic in our communities, plus all the other specialties you expect from Complete Care. Level up your health with us. The Complete Care Health Network. No games, just great healthcare for everyone.
Welcome back to Around South Jersey. My special guest is Jerry Covella, who writes books, used to be with a newspaper, Chamber of Commerce Executive Director. You name it, Jerry does it. And what's nice is Jerry does it all very well. Jerry, what would be a typical day for a coach? I mean, many hours, and what do you do?
My normal day?
Yeah.
Get up in the morning, check my notes, check my client's schedule. A byproduct of COVID is most of the face-to-face coaching is now virtual.
That's super.
So that did help me grow my business because now I have clients in Florida, Ohio, Texas. So it makes it's kind of interesting. And I'm one of those guys that puts a suit and tie on and have my gym shorts on.
Nobody knows.
So I have to stay seated most of the time. But it's interesting because I prep for my clients. They have their action items that they need to act on. I do some research to support the conversation that we're going to have. Our sessions are usually, if it's one-to-one, it's usually a 75-minute session.
That's quite a bit.
So we go over that. And it's strictly just looking at the opportunities. If you have a problem, our theme is there are no problems, just opportunities.
Right.
And we fulfill that because, why would we can't be negative because we can't perform at our best.
Right, exactly.
So if we take a positive approach and say, I'm having these issues, great, it's an opportunity to kind of change things. What's the ideal look like? One example I hear all the time is everyone says, you can't find good people anymore.
I was going to say that I know a guy that has a trash company. In fact, he does violence trash for them, and he was saying how hard it is to get people.
Yeah, and quite candidly, there are a ton of good people out there. Maybe the model to bring them in is flawed, and that's kind of the approach we would take. Tell me about your acquisition process. What are we doing to entice people to come in? Yeah. We're in this dynamic where some businesses, if we don't take a very human side to our business and respect people as individuals, whether they are the factory on the line or part of your C-suite, we have to acknowledge the good work that they do. They're not just a piece to fit into the machine. If we take that approach, will they, if I were put in that situation and said, hey, someone said, Covella, do that job, and there was no acknowledgement or communication, I guess I could do that for about 6 minutes before I became negative. So it's about what platform are you presenting. I'm an advocate for the young generation because I believe, quite frankly, they have it right. They're looking for an experience at work.
Yeah.
Right? And the smart companies are the ones that understand I have to provide something that will empower them to operate at their highest level. So,
It's interesting. I think of my staff. Obviously, George is my senior man. It's been with me off and on for many years, and is very, very good at what he does. But like Ryan Narowski and that young staff, and you see that when they come to chamber luncheons and stuff, they're amazing. Yeah. They really have the interest, the ability. They know how to put things together, and it really helps a lot. This is a funny story, though. In businesses, remember Diane Allen?
Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
I had Diane on the show with me several years ago. Diane and I both went to Glassboro State College. I think she was a year or two behind me. And we both wanted to be radio announcers. So she said, Jim, I got done. I got my degree. I'm all excited. And she went to a station in Mount Holly to get a job. And they hired her. And she said, you know what they paid me? I said, $1.65 an hour. She said, yeah, how'd you know? I said, that's what I was making at WWBZ. Here we both have college degrees. Yeah. But that's a field. And even now, it's a field where you almost got to pay your dues. You got to, the interns get involved. My oldest son, I'm so very proud of, he got an internship. He got his master's at West Virginia University in radio or TV. And he got an internship at NBC, and they loved him, and now he's vice president of NBC Sports, been there many, many years, but he loves what he does. But Jerry gets to meet so many great people, and I love my job because I get to see Jerry. I get to see, Rick or Craig Atkinson, Tony Cerise, all the wonderful people that I can have on. And I said to Jerry, and I got to do this, folks, starting in September, because he mentioned Bud McAvoy.
Yeah.
And Bud is in his 90s, one of the best athletes ever in Millville, and still shoots very, very well on golf course, right? They tell me below his age.
Shoots his age every day, every time.
I couldn't do that on the first 9 holes. But anyway, Jerry remembers when we were younger, there was a show on TV called Life Begins at 80. Well, 90 is the new 80. And my cousin Harry Curley, who I think the world of, was the mayor of Vineland, he just turned 90. We had his 90th birthday party. He's still sharp as a tack. And, of course, talking about McAvoy. And I don't know if you know Scarangella that had the Vince Scarangella. He had the place on Delsey Drive, Vince's Tires. It's now the car wash place.
Yep.
And Vince is 95 and sharp as a tack, still drives. I see his daughter at the fitness, Holly City Fitness Center, which I go to. Although with the heat, I haven't gone as much as I should, but I'll be back hopefully tomorrow. But, I think of these people, and if you have anybody that you know that would like to be on, I'd love to have them. I think their wisdom and all the experience they have over all those years. Like Bud played every sport at Millville High School, and, it would really, I think, hopefully it'll be interesting to do.
Bud is a true gentleman.
Yes, he is, isn't he? I worked with him at the post office. Actually, I worked Saturdays, and I had so many jobs when I was going to college. I'd work Saturday for my cousin who was the RD2 mailman, so I'd fill in for him every Saturday, and like 3 or 4 weeks in the summer when he had summer vacation. But you know what I love? I love people. So at the post office, it was fun. There was people sorting the mail, we're joking around, having a good time. And what was really neat, I had 562 customers on the RD2 mail route. And man, it was a long way to go. But the people would come out, say hello, and it was just delightful. It really was. And they were appreciative of, things you would do for them. I have a funny story. As an RD2 mailman, I had a brand new Chevy convertible. And of course I had to use my car. One day they gave me a box of baby chickens. I said, what? I said, oh yeah, Jim, you got to take this to, out Cumberland Road. I said, okay. So I put the baby chicks in the back, and they were chirping the whole time. I couldn't wait to get rid of them. But I'm thinking, okay, that's what the RD2 mailman does. But, I'm very, very fortunate, as have you been. And, you love people, I love people. And loving what you do is so important. It makes life, this is what we have our life for. And I absolutely love what I do. And, I'm lucky there. And I have some great people to support me, too. Mm-hmm. And I got another funny story to tell you. I have 4 women, they'll work with me. Tony Coogan was phenomenal. She ran my office and everything. She retired a few years ago. So in her place, I hired Bobby Michalek, who is equally phenomenal lady. And my attorney's name is Terry Giordano. and there's another one. But anyway, I've got all these women with men's names. I said, they are fabulous people, though. And you couldn't do your job without the assistants and all that. Now, we haven't talked about your beautiful wife. Does she help with your business?
She helps to a point, and so full clarity here. All I want to do is coach. My wife knows this.
Right.
So she's my
Helps at the
bookkeeper,
chamber.
basically.
Yeah.
She's the QuickBooks expert.
Oh, that's
I want
super.
nothing to do
Yeah.
with QuickBooks.
Yeah. No,
So-
I don't know how to do it. I got Bobby.
Yeah.
She does my QuickBooks for me. So.
I try to follow the rule of success, which is always put yourself in the best possible position.
Yeah.
So do I want to put my time into QuickBooks?
No.
That would be like root canal for me.
Yeah.
So she is great at numbers, so we have a great model going there. Because again, I want to get up, I want to talk to my clients, have a great conversation, duplicate that over and over again. And I mean, you're the same way, right? We love talking to people. We love helping people.
Yeah, I know you and I are very similar. We love helping people, and I loved it when I was the mayor for 12 years. I could help people, bring things to the town, and meet people, and it was just priceless. A period of time that I enjoyed so much being here, and of course I was lucky too. I got many years at the county as well, and that was serving people. That's what I looked at it. I was a public servant, and I really enjoyed serving people and being and the people that I worked with. I mean, they were Lou Thompson, you know that. I mean, Kim Ayers, Don Ayers. I mean, some wonderful people that helped the success that I had while I was mayor in the city of Millville. And boy, talking about success, one of the things I'm so proud of, Jerry, and I know you were around when this happened, was the Union Lake Crossing Shopping Center. It's rocking and rolling.
Oh my gosh,
Isn't it? It's unbelievable. I guess we brought that in, I don't know, somewhere in the early 2000s, but it's got unbelievable occupancy. And in fact, Inspira took over one of the big buildings, and they do healthcare in that building. But you've got Jersey Jerry's, or I think there's Jersey Mike's, whatever, and you got all the food places across the front, and it's just really nice to see that hopping and doing well.
Yeah. I see the same vision for downtown here, my friend.
Well, you know what? We had it that way, buddy. When I was here, we had 90-some% occupancy, but the Arts District was the key that helped at that time pull that together. And what happened, in all fairness, in 2008, the economy sort of hit the skids, and then people didn't have the expendable income to go out and buy the artwork, and then that made it tough for the artist and things that go with that as well. So,
Sure.
and timing, COVID. I mean, that was a period, like you said, we learned how to do everything online, which was a good thing, but it took away people going into the businesses. Well, as we talk about the Arts District, and you honored her Jean and Marianne Cannon, that the chamber did. They were two of the people that I first met with, and I liked both of them very, very much. And they had the idea of doing the Village on High, which are those little shed-type buildings, and they do well with that. And I love Eric at Wildflowers because I'm half vegan. I love his food. Oh my God, folks! If you get a chance, but don't take them all because sometimes the goodies run out. He has these power bars that are fabulous, and luckily for me, thanks to Dr. Attia, I just eat one meal a day, and then the other two I have a protein bar or a power bar. And his power bar is one of my favorite things that I really enjoy. So yeah, I mean, trying to get more people downtown, is something that is not easy to do, and it's something that's going to take work. And hopefully we'll have a new city commission in January of next year, and hopefully there'll be some more people that can get out and mingle and have your personality, and get people to believe in the town, do things for the town. And unfortunately, there's been some bad things happening in the town, so we got to be realistic about that. Got to get the police numbers up. We're down, lost a lot of police officers, so there are problems. There's no question about it, that occur from time to time. But anyway, we're going to be back with Jerry. We're going to be talking about this book, The Success Engine, Mindset, Method, Entrepreneurial Mastery, and all done by Jerry. Oh, Gerald. G is for Gerald. Now I get that. Gerald, what's N for?
You're part of my family now, calling me Gerald. So.
Well, when I went to Catholic school, the nuns called me James. What's the N for, your middle name?
Nicholas.
Nicholas. Well, that's
for
good.
my grandfather.
Well, that's
Nicola.
nice. Yeah, that's really good to have. We'll be back to talk more with Jerry about all the great things that he's got going for him, and we'll be back into right after these messages.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
Business demands location. Millville, New Jersey's got it. Business demands infrastructure. Millville's got it. Business demands a ready workforce. Millville's got it. Business demands affordable real estate. Millville's got it. Business demands leadership that gets it. Millville gets it.
Whether you're building, expanding, or relocating your operation, Millville means business.
Visit millvillenj.gov.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born right here in America. With more than 41 years of service to our valued customers, Advanced Treads in Norman, New Jersey is South Jersey's full-service distributor of General Tires. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tires, anywhere is possible. Advanced Treads, 1325 West Landis Avenue in Norman, New Jersey. Call them today at 856-696-5004.
C&H Disposal Service has provided customers with the best customer service possible since 1981. C&H Disposal Service provides trash removal, dumpster rentals, septic cleaning, repair and installation, septic system certifications, portable restroom rentals, and demolition. With great customer service and competitive pricing, C&H Disposal Service has you covered at the home and on the job. C&H Disposal Service. Stick with the best.
Welcome back to Around South Jersey. Jerry Covella, who has had a fabulous career, started out with the Daily Journal. Was that your first job, pretty much?
It was right out of high school.
No kidding. So where'd you go to high school?
St. Augustine Prep.
Oh, now I know why I like you. The mayor of Vineland went to St. Augustine Prep, and what a great school. You were blessed.
And I also went to Glassboro State, so I'm giving away my age, too.
Yeah, okay, yes. It was Glassboro, both of us, with their turn to Rowan later on down the road. That's great. So what did you take up? Media at Glassboro?
Communications, journalism. So I kind of skated through Glassboro because I was working at the paper already, so I got a lot of credits for working
that's nice.
in the newspaper business. And I went back to school for business management and finance a little bit. But it wasn't just for my own personal education, it was fun to do that.
That's great. Well, let's talk about your book, Jerry. How long has the Success engine been out? And I understand you got another one scheduled too.
Yeah, it's been out since the first week of June.
Oh, wow. It just came out?
I'm humbled to say that it is selling quite well. I'm learning all about the Amazon ranking, so there's multiple categories that you could be listed under. So I believe in the entrepreneurial category, we've been moving up pretty consistently. We're getting close to the top 100, which is
that's
kind
fantastic.
of neat.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of fun. I guess an old journalist putting a book together is like riding a bike. Not exactly.
But I understand.
But
You've
yeah,
got
it was
that ability to do that.
a fun thing, and it's kind of neat to see it out. And I think this will be the first of a series of books that we'll author along the way.
Can they get the online with Amazon?
You can get it online. This is the paperback. There's hardcover and the Kindle version. We are working on the Audible version.
Oh, wow, that's neat.
But this is it's not a heavy read. It's basically looking at a platform of success. So what elements of your business can you focus in on that will allow you to elevate those elements within your business? Cumulatively, you'll reach a level of success. So in the next book we're working on, or tentatively we're calling it Unfulfilled Success. And that really is attached to the data that goes out. Basically, data shows most small businesses If the question is, have you fulfilled your expectations for your business? I believe the data showed 86% of the people had said they have not.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
So they've had some level of success, but not
Yeah.
what they had dreamed of. So unfulfilled success looks at why does that happen, right? And kind of what we talked about, the routines we get into, we may think they're temporary. They become part of the business model and saps our energy till we get to a point where we're not passionate about our business or ourselves. That resonates with the staff. So
Yeah.
you can see it cumulatively, we're damaging ourselves if we're not focused in on, I'm going to use what you said, you have to be passionate and love
Yeah.
what you're doing.
Yeah, that's true.
And why would you get into a business, right? You asked the
Yeah.
question, why would anyone get into a business that they don't like?
Yeah.
You know, because maybe they had a vision, they thought it would be easy, they got into it.
Yeah.
It was disruptive. You know, how's that affect them? How's it affect their family? How's it affect their staff members? You look at the whole and say, wow, we're kind of, you know, damaging ourselves through this process. As long as we have that awareness, and that's what Unfinished Business will look at, that book. Like, let's be aware, let's set a mindset for success, know what the challenges are beforehand so we can prepare for them. And the first rule of thumb is, are you getting into something that you would be passionate about?
Yeah.
And if not, quite frankly,
Yeah,
don't do it. If you think,
right.
hey, there's good
Yeah.
money there,
Yeah.
there won't be maximum money until you're passionate about
Exactly.
doing it
Yeah.
yourself and being genuine with it.
Yeah, that's a really good point. You got to love what you do, which you love what you do. I love what I do, and I've been lucky to do this for many, many years. And I always tell the story and joke about it. But you know, somebody said, "Jim, when are you going to retire?" I said, "I don't play golf. I would be bored to death. Nothing do I love doing more than what I'm doing right now, interviewing Jerry Covella, who's one of the nicest people you'll want to meet, being able to talk to people all over the country. Actually, I know my friend Vicky is watching on YouTube in South Carolina, and I've had people all over the country that watch. Bill Rafferty comes on with me and does a Phillies show. Well, his son lives in Berlin, Germany. So I look on Facebook, and his son's watching in Germany while we're doing the show. So that's neat. I mean, as you see those things. And the other nice thing about the TV side of it, at least with the newspaper, you knew how many copies you guys sold. With the television, I never knew how many people were watching Channel 2 or Channel 4 or Channel 7 or whatever one I was on, because we didn't have the Nielsen television rating for the local channel. Now, I can tell you, last year, we had over 250,000 views for Millville High School football. Now, that was like 13 games, so about 20,000 people per game watching, and a lot of them were from all over the country. And the other nice thing with this, with, again, having the phones and the internet and all that stuff, people will bring their phone, watch the game live on their phone so they can see the instant replay. And, you know, it just adds so many things that people enjoy. And but I always say, I'll never retire. I'll just die right here on the set. And now I'm calling Christie Funeral Home to come pick me up, because you like them too. Aren't they great guys?
Oh, they're great.
They
Patrick,
really
yeah.
are. And there's people there. Christie Funeral Home gives back to the community. They are helping the chamber. They help me. They were one of the sponsors for Millville High School graduation. And you know, they're the people that put that on. Without them, without Bob Connor, without many of the business people I have, we wouldn't have those things. And that's what's so important. And you know that from the newspaper side of it as well. So we're very fortunate. And I do go to the Phillies games. That's one of my hobbies, I guess. Have you been to the Phillies games?
I have. Should we talk about them? Because they lost again.
Oh, my
today.
God, they can't hit. I know. 3 games in a row. 2-0, 2-0, 2-1. Jeez, guys. Kennedy's there. Buddy, I've seen him hit the ball, but I haven't seen him got any hits. And it's all of them. They're really going through a dry spell.
Yeah. But you know what? We're diehard fans.
Yeah, we are.
I'm still
yeah.
a Phillies fan.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had season tickets in the Hall of Fame since the stadium opened in 21 years now. And I love it. I love the people. I'm friendly with Dan Baker. Have you met Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Really good person. He does a great job. 52 years as a PA announcer.
Yeah.
He went to Glassboro.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, and again, in this business and in yours too, you get to meet a lot of the state's senator and all the people of the chamber. You get to see all those people that come in. And, we're lucky to have a lot of good elected officials, in Cumberland County and those type of things as well. So now, your new book, when's that coming out?
Probably in the fall.
Okay.
We're just right now we're just putting some structure to it, and it'll probably be more extensive than this, probably 200 pages or so. But I'm looking forward to that because it really is, I guess, my anecdotal look at how we're restricting ourselves from being as successful as we want, which is crazy to think about. Right?
Yeah, that's a good point, though. Yeah, and well, it's like I said when you were talking about the guy with the $25,000 toilets. I thought he's got to go to Avalon, Stone Harbor, Ocean City, Sea Isle. The ratables down there, folks, are astronomical. The average home in Sea Isle has got to be $1.5 million at least. So, I mean, that's where they have the money, expendable, and they want to do first class, things in their home as well. So, do you go to the Jersey Shore, you and your wife? Is there anyone you like to go to?
We like Sea Isle.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had a house there for 30 years in Sea Isle. Jimmy Beebe was here, and I was right next to him.
Yeah. Yeah. Most of our friends are in Sea Isle. So, growing up, we were Ocean City.
I love the Ocean City Boardwalk.
Yeah.
I will say that a lot.
Yeah.
But Lenny Desiderio, my buddy, he's the mayor of Sea Isle, and he's the county commission director for the county, and just a really good guy. A lot of good people.
I can't imagine you sitting in a beach chair too long.
No, I love to walk the edge of the ocean. Right. That's for sure, I do. And of course, when I had the house basically on the beach, I would sit on the deck and look at the ocean. But yeah, I actually, you're right. I get bored easy if I think I have ADD, so I go and I walk the side, the beach and things like that. I don't usually go in and swim too much, but doing the walking on the beach is fun to go, and it was nice to have been there for all those years. So, what do you got planned for the summer? Anything fun? You and your beautiful wife going on vacation, or what do you got there?
We travel. We have a place in Florida, so
what town?
Bonita Springs,
I've
just
heard of
above
it.
Naples.
Yeah, I love Naples. That's one of my favorite towns.
Yeah,
beautiful old.
It's beautiful. We have a growing number of friends down there. So even in the summer, I have to laugh because people up here say, "Are you crazy? You're going to Florida in the summer?" Well, let me tell you, it was 100 degrees here
yesterday,
and I think it was 89 in Bonita Springs. So maybe I'll take the 89 over 100. But it's the reverse of what we see here at the shore. This time in Florida, it's nice and calm. There's not a lot of traffic. The prices on everything, food prices go way low. You can enjoy yourself.
That's
Golf
good.
prices go really low during the summer, although. Now,
well, I'm sure you got your membership to Mike Trout's golf course, right?
No, not
Rich
yet.
Allen's got 2.
I heard this.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
I'm just going to latch on to Rich.
Yeah, Rich, take me with
and make it easy. But what a beautiful course, by the way.
And John Ruga, what a great guy. That man has been phenomenal for the area for sure. Besides the golf course and Northeast Precast, and he's just doing lots and lots of great things.
Talking about humility, there's a man.
Oh, he
does
Lori,
amazing
I think,
things.
His wife, they do fantastic job. So Jerry, before we wrap up, tell people how they can get a hold of you.
Okay, they can email me at jcovella@claritypartnersinc.com, or they can call me at 609-364-6705. If you want to just talk about possible coaching, we can go over some strategies and help anyone. Again, look at our social media. You'll see some of the programs that are coming up. We do have that Small Business Mastermind program starting in July 21st. That's a one-year program for small businesses. So we will tackle all the main challenges that a small business owner has over that year. There'll be some one-to-one coaching with that.
That's super.
So it is good.
So there's your
and these are
chamber things, I guess.
Yeah, right? the Chamber of Commerce. I would be remiss if I didn't mention this. Networking mixer at the Union Lake Sailing Club Thursday, July 10th. It's going to be fantastic.
Mike DePalma is the Commodore. I love Mike. What a great guy. Super guy. Yep.
Yeah. Every time you say Commodore, it reminds me of Gilligan's Island or something. But yeah, Mike is a great guy.
Yes, he is.
Our inaugural cornhole tournament at Glasstown,
right.
September 6th. And then our second annual golf classic. Now that's going to be at White Oaks, but on a Saturday.
That's good.
Not many tournaments are
right.
Saturday,
so people can get to it.
You don't have to worry about taking off from work. So we're looking to pack the house. It's a shame that we were at Silica Sands last year, which was Mr. Ruga's private 9-hole course. And in a whisper, it became a data center.
Oh, is it? Oh, my God. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Wow. That building is off Sherman Avenue, folks, or Lincoln Avenue. When you head up Lincoln, look to the right. It is a data center. It is gigantic, and he's putting it up like in 2 weeks. It's just amazing.
Well, apparently, he knows how to put up concrete
he
walls.
He sure does, doesn't he? Well, yeah, having superior walls, I guess. Or, Northeast Pre-K. He did have superior walls. When I was the mayor of Millville, that's what he started with, superior walls. And then he went to Northeast Precast, and he's an amazing person.
What a visionary.
He really is, isn't he?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jerry, thank you for coming in.
My friend, it's always a pleasure.
Same here, buddy. Take care of yourself. Have a great rest of your summer.
You too.
George Kachia, thank you for producing the show this evening. In fact, thank all of you for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Take care. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
This has been a QBC television production, in association with our partners and sponsors. QBC broadcasts on Comcast Cable Channel 22, and live streams its programming on Facebook and YouTube. All rights reserved by Quinn Media and QBC, programming that serves the South Jersey market.